The only thing we have to do definitely is to format it properly. And when we format it properly, we can have a very huge space in that domain or that iCloud. So one of the best things we should do definitely is to arrange our files sequentially. And then we should integrate a software into such iCloud systems that prevents replications of files. The same file, replications of the same files. When you keep one file, you keep the same file, it denies the second file, telling you that file has been updated or that file was already existing. Or apart from that, it tells you definitely that once you have a file system there and you bring a file into the system and the file is not well arranged, it arranges the file for you and keep the file in the right folder. And you understand definitely that these wave systems, these material wave system or special wave systems that is existing, that where we tap these domains, actually they are modular frequencies of the table and all that. So if all these are not well formatted, there might not be any space available for the iCloud or that. So what we have to do is to keep this table or keep this modular frequency in the right form from distorting. What we know as spatial distortion is when there is a vibration that tends to distort the wave format or the wavelength or the wave format. And one thing that can affect the wave format of a modular frequency is when there is no audible presence. For example, if the table has your domain or your iCloud and it's being disturbed all the time, this might affect your iCloud. So anything that you're using for your domain or your iCloud should be kept in a quiet place, free from wave interferences. You shouldn't heat it. You shouldn't vibrate it. You should keep it from engines. You should keep it from sounds. You should keep it from interferences. Because this might cause distractions, and they might decrease or destroy the frequency band and thereby destroy what we call the iCloud systems existing in that band frequency. We understood about years ago in the computer system about fragmentation and defragmentation and formatting in the computer, where if the computer is very slow, we are always asked to defragmentize. That is reformatting the PC. And when you reformat, it all comes together and squeezes together. This is what happens. But we never had a good knowledge about it because we never had a good knowledge of the modular frequency wave and what we call as a jumping up of the frequency or the amplitude of the wave, which results to squeezing up and decreasing of the domain or the website or the iCloud systems. And when we try to spread these waves apart again, something happens definitely, and that's reformatting. And this all happens in the RAM. And this RAM is integrated into the ROM. They work together. It's a beautiful part of it, and I know you have a good understanding about all of this, and I want our technicians to build softwares. I will try to build a software tomorrow where we can work in the iCloud and then use that software to do what? Reformat the spaces in the RAM. And one way you can reformat the spaces in the RAM actually is by doing what? Is by accessing the clouds in the RAM. There's one thing we have not talked about. In the RAM actually, there are spaces in the RAM actually that, apart from the ROM we talked about the other time, there are spaces in the RAM actually that definitely have iCloud systems. Because if you keep formatting in your computer all the time, you might have enough space forever without deleting. If you keep formatting every day, you might have space in your computer forever. Only the problem about that is that formatting is a rigorous process that it takes a long time for the computer to reformat the files. But if you are reformatting the files and taking out the space out every day, that computer might last for 10 years, 20 years, because it has a large iCloud system. Every RAM has a large iCloud system, a very big iCloud system. And the only thing you have to do is by reformatting all the time. And then we can understand some beautiful things about all this. We know this is the iCloud, this is the domain, this is the iCloud, this is the set of gigabyte, initial volume of the megabytes. These are the initial volume of the megabytes, not well arranged, not well formatted. Now they are formatted and they now form the gigabyte, the range gigabyte. Now we see there is space here. Guess what is called space here? And put a free space. Free. This is called free space. Free space now. Here you didn't have any space because it's hard to put something in here. Nothing falls in here, but when you drag them all together, you have free space to put more files. So every day you have to bring them together by reformatting, defragmenting. And then when you defragmentize, when you fragmentize, when it's fragmentizing, it's breaking into fragments. When you defragmentize, you take it all together, and then you have free space. Beautiful. There are other things that we might talk about really in the computer that is really exciting. Beautiful things that are exciting on the computer, like knowing about the size of your formatted space. I think in the future we might be able to know the size of our formatting space when we know about when we know about the range of when we know about the formatting efficiency. The formatting efficiency of the reformatting efficiency. When we know about the reformatting efficiency, how many times the files are well spread to give a good domain or iCloud space, then we'll be able to know definitely the amount of space that is available. What's the principle? This all happens. There might be, I believe, in time to come, in about 1 or 2 weeks, I'll bring a calculation for that, where we can calculate the space and know definitely the iCloud space in the computer. Because for now, we've known that we can tap into tables, non-living things and living things, and then get iCloud system or iCloud space but we are unable to know the size of it because it's beyond our description, beyond numbers. Yeah, but we'll be able to ascertain and know how far we can get with it. But we can always say something here that iCloud is greater than the iCloud is greater than 1 terabyte. iCloud is greater than 1 terabyte. So if you have more than 1 terabyte or equal greater than 1 terabyte, this iCloud is greater than 1 terabyte. Now 1 terabyte is 1000 gigabyte, and this 1T is all about, that tells you that the cloud is very big. And if the cloud is very big, greater than 1 terabyte, that means billions of terabytes. And when you have billions of terabytes or tetrabytes or terabytes, and then when you have billions of it or trillions of it, actually, that tells you that when you format all the time, we might use it all our lives. But another beautiful thing about this definitely is that the personal PC, we need to have what they call a habit of formatting. And when we have a habit of formatting, it's software that helps us to format all the time. We will have a healthy computer system, a running computer system. But you know, I brought this out definitely. Because I want every person actually in the computer industry that has a iCloud system to learn about arranging your files and compressing your files properly, not destroying it, and saving reasonable files, and then allowing your space to be filled with reasonable files, not dormant files, not unreasonable files. And if you keep, it's for your advantages, because if you have unreasonable files, you might have worms and some other files that are very bad, that might destroy your iCloud. So always format your iCloud to keep. And your antivirus can do it. Yeah, your antivirus can do it. If you have a cloud antivirus, or what they call antivirus, they don't actually format it. Only they keep your iCloud from worms. And if you bring a file in, it can tell if that file has a worm. But what really formats your iCloud definitely is the way you arrange your files. It's the way you organize your file. The way if it's A, everything in A, in B, and C, in D, you make them in numbers and they are well arranged. That is how you keep them well. Thank you. Bye-bye.